outside of the the overall maturation that you would see from a young boy arriving in a new country to becoming the greatest player on the planet, arguably, what were the big changes that you saw from him over the time you were together in the Manchester United dressing room in terms of the way that he matured and changed? What were the key steps and the key things that you saw?
The first step, I suppose, would have been realising the physicality of the Premier League, but also the fact you saw straight away his discipline that he had in terms of preparation in training beforehand, with doing extra strengthening work on his ankles, because he'd had an example from seeing Figo early on in the Portuguese kind of national team, because he was getting smashed in the ankles, and he realised he needed to strengthen his ankles because he's going to be smashed, try and be smashed plenty of times. So seeing that early on was incredible. And then obviously he realised his physique to cope with, because you saw a boy and the man he left when he went to Madrid. The discipline, everyone was doing their weights, etc. before training, or they had their weights program, individual weights programs and stuff. But he really knuckled down on it, and Michael Clegg was obviously a big part in that, and his son is actually back there now in with Ollie, that was up in Sunderland for a while. So I'm sure he'll be delighted to be reacquainted, and I'm sure not that Ronnie will need much more work in terms of weights now. But no, look, for what he became, and obviously the amount of touches he obviously in training, he soon realised over the seasons that when he passed the ball to other players quicker, he got the ball back in better positions, took advantage of it, and obviously realised when players were making good runs, he spotted them much quicker too. So there was that discipline too, and obviously there was a few tackles flying in training, which he soon realised, I best move the ball a bit quicker for everyone.
Do you think, I put this to both of you, when I kind of look at this Manchester United team, it was so easy to identify the leaders during the glory days, because Sir Alex always had those players within the team that other people could kind of gravitate towards, and they were easy to spot, whether it was the earlier team that had, Robson and Cantona, and then it became Keane and people like that, and it went through to later on with it being Rooney and Ronaldo and Giggs, and there've always been this almost like a leadership committee within a changing room full of very hard professional people who knew exactly what it was. I think over the last few years, you've struggled maybe to identify with those people. And we've seen this week, John, that he's walked back into Old Trafford and he's just taken ownership of the place. I mean, he was always going to. But it looked like a team that was crying out for that kind of individual to come in, to add to the one or two they got already. I mean, Cavani embraced it last year. Bruno Fernandes has got a hold of it since he's been there. Maguire seems to... All of a sudden, you're starting to look at a Manchester United team where you can start to tick the leaders off again. And you need those kind of players if you're going to win, don't you?
Yeah, look, that's exactly that. And then you added into the mix Varane as well at the back. So that's, you're going through the spine of the team there now. It's getting to be rock solid. Obviously Maguire has really excelled from the Euros, say with England, and Luke Shaw as well. So that kind of added bonus there. But Varane and Ronnie now as well. And look, Bruno Fernandes, let's not forget the impact that he's had, because obviously everyone seems to be thinking now he's not going to be on free kicks, he's not going to be on penalties. He's not. It's incredible, isn't it? Like, I think it's not a bad. Can you imagine the training they're going to be doing and the competition they'll have? Because that's what I remember Ronnie for in particular. He always used to call Edwin over when he wanted to practice his free kicks, because he wanted to be up against the best to make sure he knew when he was putting it in, it was properly. He knew that, not that the other keepers were not up to scratch, but he just wanted to make sure when he was practicing, he was doing it against the best.
John, yeah, that's exactly right. I don't think, take Messi out of the equation, but I don't think there's another player in the world of football that can change a football club in regards, if Ronnie hadn't signed for United, they would have, we say top four for United, probably not quite ready to win the league yet, but they'll be up there fighting for it. Now the mindset's changed because of one player, and I think it could only be Ronaldo that makes Man United top four, maybe pushing to title challenges. 100%, just because of him. Only one player can do that in the world, and that's Ronnie. You played with him, Shazy.
I hope so. I hope you're right, Dion.
You know what I mean? I believe it is right. I really do. One player. What an effect.
Look, that's what, when the opportunity came around, I'm sure that was straight in their thinking, that he has to have that effect. And obviously, you're getting into the latter stages of the competition. They want trophies. Ollie must want it. Obviously, desperate for a trophy as well. You know, it's a young, hungry coaching staff as well. They're wanting to get trophies again for the club. So, bringing Ronnie in again is definitely cranked up the pressure, but in a good way, in a way that the players and the staff are used to and want it, and hopefully the other players get inspired by it too.
BBC Sounds, music, radio, podcasts.